Hello, good morning. How are you? I hope you are having a great week and you are enjoying also the rest of the semester. This is the last part of the semester, right? So we are going through the third term. I know, I mean, most of us, we are tired, students, teachers, and so on, but we have to finish. We have to make sure that we are going to finish those things and we are going to take also the semester to till the end. Today, as I was mentioning, I'm going to send you the link. So I'm going to record a class and I'm going to share the link with you. So if you have some questions, just let me know, and then we can solve those questions currently outside. We are going to be discussing through this channel, which is going to allow you also, I mean, to keep moving with the semester, with the rest of the semester. So today we want to discuss the idea of one of the P's. So we started to discuss the four P's of marketing. So we discussed the price, the product. So where we were discussing how our product is going to have a certain evolution on the marketplace when we are introducing or when we are developing our product. And after developing the product, we need to introduce our product on the marketplace where we are losing money from the development to the introduction. We are losing money, as we said, right? So when we introduce our product on the marketplace, we are going to have what we call the growth. So at the growth level, our product is going to start making some sales and we are going to start making some few profit. And then we are going to get to the level of the maturity. So at the maturity level means our product has a certain positioning on the marketplace where people think about us. People, when they are talking about a certain particular product, they are thinking about us. And then after the maturity, what we have to pay attention to, we are going to go to the decline. The decline means people are not consuming our product anymore, or they are not looking for our product anymore. They are looking for something new, or our product is becoming obsolete. So we want to find out how do we survive at that particular moment. So we saw the example of an iPod. So how iPod was designing some new product to introduce them on the marketplace. So when from the classic model at the certain level, they had to introduce the nano model. Then after they had to introduce the touch model and so on, right? So to keep going until they get to a certain level where they make the differentiation from them between them and the other organization. So we saw also some of the concepts such as benchmarking. So when we are in the organization, we can go through a benchmark to find out do we have some practices that or some of the areas that we can increase the performance. We can design some let's say we can interact and copy and adapt what probably our competitors are doing or what another department is doing. So we took the example, we can have it internally or as externally. Internal means we can take two departments and try to find out, probably we have management challenges in our department, so we can find out why the other department is performing better than us, as we have the same, almost the same people, or well, we are not all the same, but we have um, almost the same department, the same organization, the same structure, and so on, but why they are performing better than us. Then we go through that to find out if we have to increase our performance or our delivery level or some of the material, some of the things that we need, right? So today we want to talk about the second P, one of the P's, which is the most important piece I consider. Why? Because we are going to talk about pricing. And if we talk about pricing, it means that we want to find about strategies, list price discount allowance, payment period or credit terms and payment methods. But what I want to call your attention to is that if you take all those four P's, which are the traditional four P's of marketing or marketing mix, if you want, the other three P's, apart from the price, are taking money from us. Means the product, when we are designing the product, when we are working on the product, we invest money to produce our product, means we are losing money. When we take the place, when we want to take our product from our factory to the distributors, let's say factory place, or to the customer, we are losing money because we have to pay for the transportation from one place to another. So we are losing money, we are spending money. For the promotion, we want to go through advertising, we want to promote our product and so on, we have to lose money also. The only P that is making money for our organization, is making money coming in, is the price. So we have to pay attention to, because it's a kind of complex, let's say, strategy we have to go through to find out, are we going to make money or not? Because the 4P, the price is going to support the other 3Ps, right? So as I was saying, the only P in marketing mix that is generating revenue is your price. It's a kind of complex process that is going to determine volume, value consumers will exchange for offering. So when we are giving a product to our customers, how customers perceive our product and which type of value we are going to apply to that particular product is what is going to determine if we are going to make money at the end of the day, or if we are going to lose money, if we are going to survive, or if we are going to resist the competition, if we are going to resist, we are going to have a certain market penetration. So we have different types of pricing concept that we are going to see, pricing strategy. Then after, we are going to take practical examples of product, how they set pricing, and how do you make some pricing packaging according to the geography, according to the psychology, according to, right? So we have what we want to call decisional prices factors. So, but before, let's see, what is a price? A price is the amount of money charged, so the value that we are going to charge for a product or a service, or the sum of values that customers exchange for the benefit of having or using the product or service. So when customers see what we are offering, the product or the service that we are offering, and they are going to evaluate, say, hey, this particular product, to have it, this is the amount of money or the value I have to put on it. So I'm going to put that particular money on it, or that particular value on it, then I'm going to have access to the product or the service indicated. So in the past, our ancestors, we still have some communities, right, that are living that way. So we have a particular product, and another person has another particular product. Since we didn't use money, what do? I'm going to evaluate what is the value of the particular product that I have, and I'm going to give that particular product to you, and you are going to give me a product or a service which has more or less the same value. Right? This is what our ancestors, this is what some communities are still doing, in those who are not using money. Then after we invented money, we said, hey, we can use this particular object, which we are going to call money, to buy. So instead of exchanging at any moment, if somebody has the money and the person doesn't have what you need as a product, they can give you money and they can take your product. So we started to set price on our particular our activities, our price. But we have to take into account that before we make any pricing decision, we are going to go through some factors, such as internal factors and external factors. Why? Because those different elements are going to allow us to understand, hey, how do we make sure that our people or our customers or our company is not going to lose money? And we are going to make the better decision for our organization, also for our external world, such as the marketing objectives. So what are our marketing objectives before making any price? And marketing strategies or marketing mix strategies, so it means we are going to combine our price, our product, our place, and our promotion together to find out, hey, the amount of money we are investing to promote our product, the amount of money we are investing to develop our product, the amount of money we are investing to distribute our product. If we combine all those things and we sell our product at that particular price, are we going to make some benefit, or we are going to lose money? So all those different things are going to allow our people to understand, hey, this price that we are setting is not the best price to set. We have to review it, and we have to increase it, or we have to decrease it, because our customers, we are going to see that customers also, they are going to have a certain perception, the kind of value the product is going to bring to them. And we have also the cost. So cost, what all those things that I was mentioning, so the taxes, our employees, the salaries, and so on. And we want to take also the organizational considerations. Those considerations are going to allow people to understand that, hey, if we design our organization to develop that particular product, is because people have that type of value that they. We want to make sure that we understand where we are heading to, and how we take into consideration the business perspective, the marketing perspective, the development, or if you want, the design perspective, and so on. Those different perspectives are going to develop what we want to call our internal factors that are going to influence the price we are going to set. But this is not enough. Why? Because external factors are going to be also important for us, such as the nature of the market and the demand. So we know that people are demanding our product, and they have a kind of high demand for our product, and we have the exclusivity of the product on the marketplace. Means we are the only one who are producing, and we know that our product is a kind of premium product, and so on. Why people have a certain consideration for the product. So what do? The price we are going to set is going to be different from if we have many people on the marketplace, such as we have competitors. They are on the marketplace. They are distributing the same thing as we are doing. So we want to review how we are going to set those prices in a way that our customers or our let's say competitors are not going to have a price which is higher, let's say lower than ours, or and the price is not going to be so much higher than ours. So we want to find out how we take into consideration those different factors, such as the nature. So do we have a kind of high demand or low demand? Do we have more product on the marketplace, or we have the exclusivity? Our competitors, what they are doing out there, and we want to find other environments, such as environmental factors, such as the economy. Is the economy growing, or we are going through a recession? Is the economy decreasing? Do we have some resellers that are going to take our product and they are going to sell it to another group of people, or we are distributing directly to them? And what are the regulations that the government is taking? So all those regulations, all those factors that the government is taking, we want to make sure that we take them into consideration before we make any pricing decision. So we don't want to go through a process where we just developed a product and we want to set just a price to say, hey, I invested 50,000 pesos to develop my product. So I want to sell it at 100,000 pesos, and I'm going to make 50% benefit. No, it doesn't work like this way. What are your marketing objectives? What are you expecting for that particular product? What is your organization or your business expecting? What are the costs that you, let's say, the development of your product generates? And then you want to find out how customers are perceiving my product, or what is the nature of the market? Are people demanding the product or not? And then we want to find things such as what is the government is saying, what are the regulations, what are the legal processes, and so on. The economy is growing or decreasing. Are people ready to buy that particular product? Are my competitors setting or selling the same thing with the same amount of money that they are putting? How do they develop? All those information will allow you to understand which type of price decision you should make, right? And then after that, we have also the pricing consideration. So the price considerations, we are going to consider things such as cost, right? So the cost, how much we invested, our raw material, how much it cost, the transportation from the raw material to the factory, how much it costs, our employees, how much we are paying to them, the different services such as the location where we are producing, the bills of, let's say, electricity, gas, and so on. Those different bills we want to find out. And then our consumers, how do they perceive what we are selling? So those customers, the way they are perceiving what we are selling are going to determine which type of price we should put on that. So we all know one of the products in the smartphone industry that is uh, uh, being sold at a higher price, because we as customers have a certain perception toward that particular price. So I want to take the example of iPhone. So when we see iPhone, or let's say the different product of let's say Apple, we believe that those products are a kind of have a certain quality, right? So like a kind of premium product. So the perception that we have toward the product is going to make the seller to increase or to put a certain price. Then we have the competitor's price when we have many people on the marketplace. So last time we were taking the example of um, the mobile phone industries, not the mobile phone, let's say people who are making such as industries such as Claro, Movistar, and so on. What do they do? If it was only one industry on the marketplace that is providing those services, so I mean, um, uh, mobile phone industries, or let's say selling those different products and making sure that we are going to make some calls because we want to connect with our families and so on, probably would have to make probably 1 minute call at 10,000 pesos. But since we have many organizations on the marketplace, as I was mentioning in a few moments, so those organizations are going to say, hey, the price I want to set to and apply to my product is going to be this one, and the price I'm going to set and apply to my product is going to be this one. So at the moment your competitor is setting the price lower so customers can make calls at a cheaper price, you have no option that you have to put almost the same price or design a promotional let's say strategy which is going to give the same value or is going to provide the same value to the customer. Otherwise, you are not going to have any incomes from what you are doing, right? Um, and then we have also societal marketing that we have been talking about since the beginning of the semester. So society, how human welfare, and companies, the profit we are going to make, and consumers. So we want to satisfy the want and so on, right? And let's go step by step. So in a step-by-step process, we have to understand that we have your major pricing strategy. What does it mean? Means what you have to understand is that if customers perceive that the price is greater than the product you are selling or the value than the value, what is going to happen? They probably they are not going to buy. So you are selling a cell phone to me, and that particular cell phone, after analyzing the content of your cell phone, I can just make some calls. I can just text some message to my families and my relatives, my friends, and so on. Right. So regular cell phone, and you are telling me you are selling the cell phone at 20 million thousand pesos, right? So 20 million pesos, why 20 million pesos, I'm not sure that people are going to buy it, right? According to what they are going to, how they are going to perceive it, right? So the perception of the customers, right? Because your product, your price is higher than the value of your product. This is what it means. If your product also probably you are selling it and you are saying, hey, I'm selling this particular cell phone at 15,000 pesos. So 15,000 pesos, which is not enough to cover the expenditure or the amount of money you invested to produce your cell phone that you are using to promote your cell phone and so on. So it means you are going to lose also money, right? So it's going to go. So to come back to the board that we have right here. So when you have, as you can see, your product cost. So what you call price floor is, let's say, no profit below that particular price. Means you have a certain price, which is the bottom line. If you go below that particular price, you are going to lose money. So if I invested, after evaluating the production of this cell phone cost me 25,000 pesos, then I can't sell the cell phone below probably 25,000 pesos. If I sell it at 25,000 pesos, means I invested the money to produce and so on and so on, and I'm getting the amount, the same amount of money back. But if I sell it at 24,000 pesos, means I'm losing money. I'm below the floor. So you have to make sure that you are going to sell it to go, I mean, from that 25,000 that you invested to produce toward probably 30,000, 40,000, and so on to go up, right? So you have competition and other external factors such as I was mentioning in the previous slide. It's the same thing that is being represented here, right here in the picture. And you have also consumers' perceptions of value. All right. So the price selling demand is above, let's say no demand above the price. So if you set a certain price also, as I was taking the example, if you set your price to say, hey, this is going to be 20 million pesos or 15 million pesos, people are not going to buy it. Why? Because your price is higher than the value that customer perceive with the cell phone. This is just a cell phone. They can just use it to make calls, to make things, but this is not something that is tied to their life, saying if I don't have that particular cell phone, I'm going to die. So what is going to happen? They are going to buy from the competitor, because what you are selling, the price you are setting is not a kind of a reasonable price. So they are not going to like it. And if they don't like it, means they are not going to buy it, not because they don't like your product, but because the price doesn't have a certain, let's say balance between what we are selling with what we are suggesting in the value that they perceive. So what you want to make sure that to do is that your product and your service and the value of amount of money you are going to put are going to have something equal, where you are not going to lose money, and your customers also are not going to feel like they lost their money, right? So they are going to buy something which is equal to what they have. So it's the same thing that we have here. So no possible profit at this particular price if your price is lower than the amount of money you invested to produce, and no possible demand at this particular price on the right side if your price is higher than the value that customer perceive through your product, which is something, let's say, that we have to take into account, right? And then you have your pricing strategy. So you have what you call cost-based pricing. Your cost-based pricing is going to go through things such as, let's say, how much I invested to buy the raw materials, so my materials, and how much it costs me to produce. And well, how much was the other services such as salary and so on. And you put everything together, and then you are going to have a total cost. So the example, I invested through 3,500,000 to buy the raw material. I invested 5 million to work on that, to produce what the customer needs, or whatever you want to call it. And then other, let's say, things such as the bills, such as the energy or water and so on, and it cost me 1,500,000, which is going to be 10 million. But those 10 million, right, which is going to be the total cost of what I invested to produce, right? And then I'm going to say, hey, I want to make 20% as benefit. So I'm going to add 20% on the 10 million. So it's going to allow me to have a final price. So when I sell it, then I'm going to say, hey, I'm making a benefit. This is in general what most people used to do, what most marketers or sellers, entrepreneurs used to do, right? But we are going to see this has a certain consequence that we are going, but for now, keep that in mind. So if you want to go through that particular process, you can go through it, but you have to pay attention to some of the factors, right? So to come back to it, so the formula is that the labor plus the material, which is going to give you the cost, and then you are going to get the cost, and you are going to multiply per 2, which is going to give you the whole sale price. So, and then what you are going to do, you are going to take the wholesale price and you are going to multiply it into 2 by 2, and then you are going to have the retail price. So the price that Exito is going to sell to us and so on is that particular formula that we have the last part, right? But let's see. This is an example on analysis that we have between Boeing and Airbus. So you can go through it just after analyzing, and then in class when we meet next week, we are going to discuss on that. How do we understand that particular process between Airbus and Boeing? Who is losing or who is making money? Who understand better? I mean, the formula, who is increasing the different deals and so on, right? So the value-based pricing. Value-based pricing means we are going to find out how people perceive or which kind of value people are going to put on our particular product, and then we are going to set the price, such as the margin or the the OH or the direct cost, and we have the price. So we have the cost, and then we have the current value in, let's say, volume, which is going to take into account the brand image, and we are going to have the service benefit, and we are going to have the product benefit, which is, and we are going to take and we are going to set the price. Or we can take the brand image, which is the optimized volume and value. Sorry, we have the brand image, we have the service benefit, and we have the product benefit. And then we want to find pricing opportunity. So which is going to be the gap between those different things, and then we are going to put some the more or less what Apple has on the different product. So we have based on buyers and consumers when we want to go through those particular, let's say, value-based pricing. It means how customers and buyers see us is what is going to determine what. So we have quality and good service, fair price, such as what iPhone does. So to come back to those concepts, customer value-based pricing is everyday low pricing, such as we have also some organizations. So we had De Uno, you have also we had Justo y Bueno and so on. So they were going through those type of marketing strategy in terms of supermarket. So everyday low pricing is going to involve charging a constant everyday low price with few or no temporary price discount. So in general, what do? They have good prices on the product, but they don't do too much promotion. So discount and so on, as compared to Exito, that they are going to go through most of the time promotion. Probably every Thursday, Exito is going to have a certain promotion on the food, let's say the product that they have in the food area, or fish or meat and so on, right? You have also the major price strategy where we want to talk about high-low pricing, which is going to involve charging higher price on everyday on an everyday basis, but running frequent promotion to lower price temporary on selected items. So in the example of Exito, right? So Exito, they are going to select some particular product, and they are going to say, hey, every Thursday or Wednesday we are going to have this particular product or promotion those products. So we are attracting our customers to come at that particular day. And then we have also the major pricing strategy, which is going to be also the third element, customer value and pricing, where we want to call about value added prices, which is going to attach value added feature and service to differentiate the company offers, and that's the higher price, right? So in general, we are going to have some organizations that are trying to sell, are going to focus more on the value that the product is going to deliver, right? And then to come back to the value-based pricing, we have the cost-based pricing. Design a good product, determine product cost, set price based on the product, and then you want to convince buyers of product with the values. So what is the value of the product, right? So this is basically what we do. So I'm going to design my product. I design my product. I'm going to determine how much it costs me to design, and I'm going to set a price based on the cost. So I invested 25,000 pesos, so I'm going to sell it at 30,000 pesos, and I'm going to convince somebody to say, hey, buy this particular cell phone at 30,000 pesos, right? And we have also the value-based pricing, where we want to assess customers' needs and value perception. So we go through the customer need and value perception, and we want to set target price to match the customer value perception. And then we want to determine the cost that it can incur to the product. And then we want to design and the product to deliver the desired value at a target price. So what is going to happen? I know that these days, or when COVID-19 started, people need to access the campus. Let's say if we take the example of the university, right? People need to access the campus with the QR code, means they are going to need smartphones. So people who were not using smartphone, they were not using even a mobile phone, what is going to happen now? It became an obligation for them to have a smartphone to enter the campus. So what do? I'm going to assess those needs of the customer and the value they are going to perceive. Hey, I have a need. I need a smartphone to enter the market, into the campus. And the value that I have is that if I don't have it, I can't access to the campus and I can't take my classes. So I'm coming to the campus because I have to take my classes. So what is going to happen? I'm going to set a target price to match customers' perception. So they are students in general, and they are looking for smartphones so they can download those apps and then they can enter the campus. So I'm going to find out how much more or less they can invest in that particular cell phone. If I'm designing a cell phone to sell to them so they can have access to the QR code, they can access the campus. And I'm going to determine the cost that it can be incurred. So how much I can invest to produce. And I determine the price that I can invest. Then I'm going to design the price, the product now, and then I'm going to respond to the need of the customer and the value that they were looking for. And then I'm going to set a target price to say, hey, I can apply this particular price to it. So this time I evaluate the need and the value that the customer has for the product before designing it. I didn't design the product and introduce on the market trying to convince somebody to buy. I determined first. Okay. So to summarize it, we have two ways, the wrong and the right into bracket, or the good way. So when we go to cost-based pricing, in general, this is not a good way. So I design a product, I determine a cost, and I set a price, and then I try to convince somebody to buy. It doesn't work too much, or it doesn't work as well. And then when I determine the value that the person has for the product, and I set let's say a target price and so on to match the customer perception and so on, what is going to happen? Now, this time, people are going to be convinced, because if I take those cell phone, I come to the campus and say, hey, I know you guys have to enter the campus with a QR code and so on, and those smartphones are going to help you not only to make your calls, but also to access the campus, because it's easier to use and so on. So what is going to happen? People are going to buy from me. So to summarize, we have to understand that we don't set the price according to what we invested to design the product, but we have to go through the market analysis first. We have to study the market first, and then we have to understand what type of value customers have for our product if we design to introduce on the market before we design the product and introduce on the marketplace. Competitors-based pricing. Now we want to find out competitor-based pricing is simple, right? So I want to analyze what the competitors are applying to the price or to the product, and then I'm going to design almost the same strategy. So I was taking the example of the, let's say those mobile phone industries such as Claro, Movistar, and so on. This is what they are doing. So what do you do? Competitors, what type of strategies competitors are using, how much money they are charging for the particular product, and what and they are offering to the market, or what the market is demanding. And then we want to set almost the same prices, right? Such as if you take those, let's say, medical staff and so on. So like if you go to a pharmacy and you want to buy a product, the same product with the same value and the same, let's say, properties, if another pharmacy is selling higher than you, what is going to happen? You are going to look for another pharmacy, because it's the same. I want to just, I don't just want to buy a product that is going to be higher. Why they have the same property. Why I'm going to buy from you when your competitor is selling cheaper than you. So I prefer to buy from your competitor more than you, right? So this is simple. So you analyze what they are doing, and then you do the same thing. So the competitor-based pricing, as you can see on the screen. So we take Sarah, or let's say we take a Bershka or H&M, and we are going to analyze what H&M is selling, how much they are setting to the price. And then what do? Then let's find out in Pull&Bear, we have almost the same product, so we can set the same price. That's why Inditex decided they are going to diversify, let's say, the different industries. So they have in the group, they have different product with different way of things. So if you see the items that we have in Pull&Bear and Bershka, they are almost the same items that H&M has. So to survive the competition with H&M, if you take Sarah, Sarah is going to be compared to another industry which is totally different from probably what H&M and so on has, right? So basically, this is the idea. You find out how much is your competitor is selling, and then you set also your price according to how your competitor is selling, right? According to the price. Now, you have your pricing strategy. We are going to finish here. So what we have to understand is that we have different items. We can have low quality of product or low quality or higher quality. And then we can have low quality also and low price, and we can have also higher price. So when we have a lower quality, let's say, and we have a lower price, what is going to happen? We call it economy. Economy means we are focusing on the volume. So basically, this is how the Chinese and the Indian market work. So they focus more on the economy, the volume. We want to sell things that are going to allow people to understand. When we have a premium, means we have a higher quality and we have a higher price also. So when we have a higher quality and higher price, what is going to happen? Profit and image. iPhone, right? So they try to focus on selling something good, a higher quality, and then with a higher price also. So to make sure that they are going to have a certain, let's say, way of understanding things. And then we have also, if you want, you have your penetration. So market penetration means we have a good quality and we have a lower price. We want to focus on the volume. So people are going to understand as we are going to have a certain positioning, we are going to have a certain differentiation in the marketplace for now. And then your scheming is that you have a good quality, you have high quality, high price, and you have a kind of initial volume and profit. So we want to find out how can we make a profit at the same time selling, having a kind of initial volume. So basically, this is what we have for today. You go through it, you watch it, then on Monday, or let's say next week, we are going to go through pricing strategy. So how do you set pricing for your different products? Some of the price are going to just focus on one items, and some of them also are going to focus on different items, such as, let's take the example. If somebody is buying a printer, so to print out the different document in the house or in the office, just the printer is not enough, because if you buy a printer, you need also the ink to put in the printer to be able to print, right? So those type of pricing, how do you set them? Because the person can decide they are going to buy only the printer and they are going to buy after the ink. So if you want to put both of them together to set a particular price, then you are going to go through a certain promotion, and then the person can buy both of them at the same time, right? So we want to see how do we do those different pricing processes, strategies, and so on, and then discuss also a little bit more about your project and so on. So if you have some questions, just let me know, and you write to me, you reach out to me, then through email or through chat, and then we can discuss on that. So you take care of yourself, have a great week and great weekend also, and I see you next week. Bye bye.